applies to everybody.
Can you repeat the question?
Well, if I'm gonna say it right, generally people like to, those who want to go to the gym or want anything, they they really want that, right? But you impose the idea that they don't really carry through to get it, or
I'm saying everybody wants the benefits of going to the gym. Everybody wants the benefits of eating healthy, having a routine, going to bed early, getting up at the same time, all of these things that we quote unquote think and believe. If we do, we will either be better off in some form or fashion. But despite knowing going to the gym is good for you, despite wanting to go to the gym, I still don't go to the gym. So now my question is, why don't I go to the gym? Is it because I just don't have the thought to go to the gym? And if, or whatever the reason is as to why I'm not going to the gym, how do I change that? Because at least in a logical way, I feel the desire is there, but there's no follow-up.
how bad do you want it?
Apparently not bad enough because I'm not going.
Exactly. So if you don't have enough of intention and desire, you're only half-assing yourself. You're like, oh, I want it, I'd like it.
Okay.
It's your preference to have this kind of thing. You're so happy to be in the place that you are that you do not want enough because you're not forced. At the moment that you start suffering, the wanting and desire becomes so much stronger to be in a better state. So it drives you, it pushes you to come to a better place to be. When you don't suffer, it's okay. I'd like to be, more fit, more healthy, all this, but whatever. I don't really need it. The moment that you're dying because of your health habits, you want to change it.
Okay, so you're saying there's not enough motivation.
There's no reason.
Okay, so then what is the difference then, or why is it that Joe Blow has so much more motivation than I do? Is that just the way it is?
The who?
Joe Blow, whoever. Peter, Bob, Gary.
No, because
some XYZ person.
They want more.
Yeah, but why do they want it and I don't?
Because you don't suffer and they do. As simple as that.
Okay, so they're suffering and affliction. But I believe I'm suffering and affliction too because I feel...
You believe they suffer. So you can believe that you want to go to the gym but you don't suffer enough to go to the gym. So believe what you want. None of the beliefs will bring you anywhere. You have to suffer enough to come to awakening also. Because no belief will bring you there. Just because you believe it will be better state, it will be euphoric state. Awakening, knowing truth, it's not going to do anything. When you need it, when it becomes either this or I die, then fuck yeah. That's the only thing that matters. And when that comes to be recognized, like, oh, that's good. No. Then
so, but then, okay, so why is it that then, would it be fair to say that if I don't have that motivation, if I'm not experiencing the suffering to go to the gym, then that I don't need it?
You don't need it, the body may need it.
No, when I say me, when I say you, I mean the illusionary me, the physical body.
Of course it needs it. Everybody needs to be healthier, everybody needs to go to...
But then, you said, well, I'm not suffering. So when you say, I am not suffering, means this body is not suffering enough to kick it in the butt to get to the gym, correct? This physical body is not suffering enough. So does that mean that this physical body just does not need it? Is that right?
Of course it needs it. It needs it needs food, it needs some activity, it needs all this energy. Some of the bodies will be healthier because they'll get more of that. Some of the bodies will be less healthier because then they both may feel the same way about needing it, Just, again, the ones who really need it, they'll have the change. The ones who don't really need it.
But that was my question. That means that in my current state, I don't really need it, right?
No, of course not. If you really needed it, you wouldn't be there. No, you don't really need it, so you go do whatever else feels more needy than this. And most of the time, whatever else feels more needy doesn't deserve as much attention as this.
Okay, so but then how do I shift that? How do I change that? Like, because it's exactly you said that whatever else is getting attention doesn't really need it. Going to the gym actually does need it. So how do I shift?
You observe that doing everything else what you do, just by observation, that you don't really need it. It's waste of your energy. That's it. You're back in the understanding that this is not what I need in this moment. You can go to the gym. Just by observing that this is not what I want, this is not what I need, and realizing I don't have to suffer, I have a choice, free of suffering, in this moment, just by observation that this does not serve the moment, the way I would like to perceive my manifestation here, this does not serve that. So a shift of just by perception into action is very easy.
Okay, so I think what you said is very key then. That when I'm sitting on the couch eating a bag of chips, if I tune into my observation will guide me and make me more aware that what my body actually does need is to put the bag of chips down and to go to the gym. But because I'm not aware or open or whatever you want to call it, I'm not in the observation zone when I'm on the couch, I'm in the potato zone, then I do these silly things. Would that be a fair assessment? So then in life, basically, the more that we're observant, the more we will become aware as to what the body is actually telling us.
Totally.
So the body is already, for example, maybe my body is already telling me to go to the gym, but I'm not listening to it.
Yeah. Your attention is somewhere else than to what is. Your body may be fat and you may be choking from cigarettes every day. It's telling you, stop doing what you're doing. This body will die. Do we pay attention to it? No. We go to McDonald's. Sorry for the advertisement. This advertisement. We go to some fast food chain or whatever, and so we keep stuffing ourselves with all kind of oils, fats, and all kind of unhealthy things, drinking, alcohol, cigarette. Everybody knows that this is not good for the body.
Right, but they still do it.
Because they're unconscious. You are in the position of consciousness where you observe that this is not serving the body. This actually goes against the body. In this space of observation, there's a place of choice for a shift. And not necessarily have to choose it with the effort. It doesn't feel right to serve so much those activities because it doesn't feel good in you. You start feeling much more great eating cherries than chips. And maybe you'll still eat chips and you'll start feeling bad and you're like, oh, I'm eating chips again. That's fine, you're still living this life. You're still going to eat chips for the rest of your life, likely. But likely it's not going to be as much intended activity as eating cherries. Because it's not really something that will serve and feel good to you. What starts feeling good is the harmony of life. In harmonious life, the body is part of existence. And whatever body feels, it needs to be paid attention to. The only reason why we get sick is because we don't pay attention what the body initially has symptoms to call our attention to. So whenever something happens to our body, what do? We want to heal it. So we pay all the attention to that part of the body. We start wrapping up our food, drinking medicine for a particular part of the body, giving all of attention to that. So if we do not waste our attention, everybody else, everyone else, all the advertisement, and anything that appears in this life, because so many things appear to get your attention, and mind alone gets most of it. Not to say anything about the manifestation. Even now, while speaking, you may not hear anything I say because your thoughts are louder than my words. And nobody considers that. Nobody really listens to anyone. They hear their thoughts much louder than anybody speaking. That's why after the end of some talks, people are like, I have no idea what you were saying. Just kind of, was not there after 5 minutes. Because attention is so easily drawn to any energy. In that point of now, of pure observation, because now we are doing that, we are observing that this is how the energy functions. If the attention is being pulled.
Take the person who is obese, and they're well aware that, and I say aware because they consciously, they don't feel good, they, like, I imagine, okay, or I don't know, just from hearing people, they say that they know that they shouldn't eat because it even comes to a point where they don't even feel good. So that's the body communicate, hey, change something here. But you're saying that it's because they're not consciously aware or consciously paying attention, because even verbally they're verbalizing it, which means they're aware of it, that hey, I should stop eating more or exercise more, whatever it is, but they still don't act on it. But once again, even though they're verbalizing it and they know they should and everything, it's because they're not conscious.
What they will verbalize is not that they want to change, it's that their feeling grows, they're feeling like this.
Right.
The one who wants to change, he'll gonna be, if he gonna say anything, because he may be doing everything. If he says something, he'll show that he's doing some action. Well, those people, they say whatever they want. The reason why they don't get it, because they still, even with the saying, they're believing into whatever they do is good enough, because they keep doing it, keep eating it, even while feeling bad. They know that it's bad, they feel bad already, but they don't really want to change, because mind has enough interest to keep you on suffering if it can. It's no difference if it will suffer or not. Mind loves your attention. Whatever attention, it will be happy or suffering, just attention is good enough, because that keeps it alive. By the observation in this moment, we pull the attention into the presence. We observe all these tendencies of the mind. They go, they identify, they suffer, they become unconscious, and the patterns then bring all kind of outcomes and circumstances in our life. Karma is nothing but an experience of life, natural experience of life. Whatever comes as a effective, whatever you're gonna put out will have an effect, because there's energy flowing all directions, and that's all that there is. And to us, we believe that there's something really special about the change. There's nothing special about the change. You want to change? Change now. Want to go to the gym? It's all about this moment, having enough conscious interest to have what you want to have, because you start living it this moment. You don't want to achieve it, you live in this moment.
But the key element there is to bring that consciousness into the forefront, because when one does bring the consciousness into the forefront, then one cuts that mind identification. And then once one is conscious, then one pays attention to what feels right, what seems to be pointing in that direction. Then I'm assuming you're even that much more motivated to act on it. Because right now I may say that, I know I should go to the gym, I know I should stop eating the chips. However, actively doing it, there's something I would say is preventing me from doing that. And would it be fair to say that that's something that is preventing me is just a mind identification, because it's just got me so occupied? It's like, yes, it's telling me you shouldn't do it, but it's just living in the story.
It's totally the mind, but for the being, for the observation part of you, it doesn't matter if it's this identification or not. If you're actually achieving something, if you're in the gym or eating the chips, it's equal the same.
Yeah, but it's just observing. But through that observation, I'm assuming, that as one does observe, then new kinds of either information or thoughts will then start to permeate the mind as well, rather than just the current ones.
Of course, because there's more space for something else to come in, and something else will come in. Hey, I'm tired of doing these activities or living this life, and maybe you want this different.
That thought that, I'm tired of eating the chips, that thought, I guess, required space to come into the mind. And being in observation mode allows or creates the space for that thought to come in.
Have you tried to change anyone's mind? Never works, right? They're so stuck up to their thoughts, to their opinion, you cannot change their mind because they believe this is what is so. But if you provide space for the mind to allow something to come in new, fresh, something can change. You cannot change it, but only space can allow a change to happen inside. But if you don't have space, you only have attachment to your opinion, to your mind, nothing will change. That's why.
Okay, so then that really is the key right there then. Because then as we practice observation,
I think it's the jam man.
As we practice observation, then we allow the possibility of new thoughts to arise. And then from there, if we follow that, then there's a higher probability that we'll be better off.
Yeah, you can just experiment. Just experiment with space. You'll never lose.
Final frontier, space. It's all about space.
There is now my hand is like this, and if I ask you, I want to raise my hand, but how can I raise my hand? Tell me, how can I raise my hand?
No, it's not really up to me.
Pardon?
Whenever it will want, it will raise. If it starts hurting, if I touch it or something uncomfortable, by itself it will move.
Yeah. If I have the intention to raise, then I can raise.
Yeah.
And
I gotta skedaddle.
What?
I gotta run.
Oh no, are you not gonna be helping us to learn the secrets of...
Oh, for it?
Yeah.
I'm honestly so tired. I don't even know if I'll be able to actually be of any use right now.
Because my will come in maybe 20 minutes or something, and then they will show something. So I thought maybe.
Okay, can I take a little nap then?
Of course.
All right.
You will show us something?
Huh?
What? Friendship?
What's up, Dave?
I want to go back to the question about the self.
Selfless question.
I'm not sure I got what you guys were trying to do. Talking about.
what did you say?
About the self. We were talking about the self. Are you just talking about identity or actual physical existence?
No, I was talking about this, and I'm not saying that there is no self, and I'm not saying there is self. I'm just saying that to me, to my understanding, it is an open question. You may have understood it, but I haven't the answer to this. And but this is clear that there is no unified self, perhaps. No, I shouldn't say it is clear, but it looks like it. Because you see, like with the mind and brain, the neuroscience has done some experiments, and one part of your mind can see something and another part of your mind denies that. You see, like these are not very deep things or anything. This is a simple, experimentally verified things. Like what's this?
This is just a fill on my phone. I forget to turn it off.
Is it like there is a certain sort of blindness in which the eyes can see, and but the owners, but the person says that I cannot see, and things like this. But some part is denying his ability to see, some part is not denying, because they find out that suddenly if you throw a ball at the person, he wants to catch it. So he was seeing, but he believes that he does not see. So all sort of things happen like this.
Okay.
Well, this is exactly the same thing about the truth. We believe that we don't see, but we do see.
Yeah, their belief does not let them see. Yeah.
But we do see. And that's the whole...
Yeah, but they see from one part of their mind. Another part does not see. So there is, I was saying that consciousness is not a unified, unitary. I won't make this statement, but it seems that consciousness is not a unified thing.
It could be. Would it matter?
That one part of the consciousness can contradict another part of the consciousness.
Only the mind can contradict itself. Consciousness doesn't contradict anything. It just is. What is the quality of consciousness? It exists.
Are we talking the same words here? Maybe the right definition.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe the things which have to be clarified is when you say consciousness, what do you mean by that?
Oh, I don't mean the mind. I mean beyond the mind.
Okay.
What observes the ability to agree that there's seeing and deny at the same time. Because there's consciousness to observe that I see something, but I deny that I see.
Okay. So
in order to know both of these, consciousness has to be there.
But I think you're saying, you're saying the mind is consciousness?
No. I was not talking about mind. I used the word mind, but I meant a unitary consciousness perhaps is a myth. Perhaps, and I don't know. But experimentally this is verified that one can see but believe that one does not see. Things like that.
So could it also be a myth that unitary consciousness is not true? Could it also be a myth that unitary consciousness is not true? And could it be actually true?
I didn't get you.
Could it? You said that it's a myth.
I said that perhaps it is a myth.
Yeah. So could it be perhaps that it's not?
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that there is no such consciousness. It may be.
No, when I say perhaps, I'm saying perhaps because to me, I'm not clear about this.
Yeah.
So I do not see that because seeing is going on from this fact that there is a unitary consciousness which is seeing. That doesn't.
So that's okay. It doesn't have to become something that holds you from seeing the truth. That's okay. You don't have to have a unitary consciousness experience to see the truth.
Can you say?
Do you have to have a unitary consciousness experience to see the truth?
Truth about what?
All that is. The ultimate truth. The only truth that there is.
Very honestly, I have trouble with all these concepts. What is, when you say ultimate truth, what do you mean?
Well, what I think most of the people would say, what is the meaning of life? That's what they would define.
Oh, that is very simple. That is no problem. Meaning of life is a subjective thing. What is meaning of life to one person is not the same as to another person. So there is no one meaning of life for everyone. This is a subjective thing.
So what is
There is
truth?
no
What is the truth beyond any meaning of life? There must be one truth beyond all the lives and all the meanings that people give to it. Life is one, but we give many meanings to life. So what is the truth of life?
No, when you say life is one, what do you mean? Like, do you mean that your life and amoeba's life and eagle's life, they are not separate lives, is it?
Well, no, they are separate, but we all share the same life. They coexist as I exist. It's not that I exist and they don't. All of it exists as this one life.
Are you saying that everybody has his own life, or are you saying there is a one combined life?
Both. It's both. It's everybody has their own life and we live in one combined as well. Everybody has their own meaning of life, but we live one life.
No, I was not talking about meaning at all. Meaning is a subjective thing, as you said. To me it seems like this. I'm talking about, is there one life or there are several lives?
We all exist together.
Okay. When you say we, who is excluded and who is included in this we?
Everything is included.
Pardon?
Your life and everyone else's life.
No, well, that's what I want to say. Yeah. What do you mean by everyone? Do you mean an amoeba also? A bacteria also?
Yeah.
Do you mean this cup also?
Well, it can exist, but
Pardon?
it exists.
No, but we were not talking about existence. You were talking about life. So we were talking. So you said we all have something in each other. So that's what I wanted to clarify. That who is included and who is excluded from this word we when you use this?
Well, humans and animals all have consciousness.
Pardon?
Humans and animals all have consciousness.
How about the cup? This cup.
Well, it doesn't have consciousness, but it was created by consciousness. It was created.
No, that's a different thing. That's irrelevant.
Okay.
The question is, does this cup have consciousness?
No.
Okay. So when you say we, you mean people. You mean the entities which have consciousness.
Right.
And the entities which do not have consciousness, they are excluded.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's clear. Okay, yeah.
And with this, are we closer to the truth?
Pardon?
Are we closer to the truth?
You see, excuse my questioning, but truth about what?
Life.
Whose life?
Life, this in general. There is no whose life. Who is only individual perception. Life is that all share.
Okay. So that was the question I was asking in Daniel, that when you say we, is this cup excluded from that or not?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect life if this cup is here or not. Life is.
No, that was not my question. My question was, when you said that we all share one life, or something like this. Okay. So in your we, is this cup included or
Totally.
excluded? So this cup has life?
Yes. Don't you see?
I don't see.
You don't see the cup?
I see cup. I don't see.
So here you go. Life of a cup is here.
A cup is not the
Are you
same.
denying that the cup has a life from which you drank?
No, I am
No?
not denying it.
So
I'm
it is
not
here.
accepting it. I'm asking questions.
Mhm.
I'm not saying it is so and it is not so.
Mhm.
I'm exploring. I'm asking questions.
So what is the end of your question? What do you want to gain from the ultimate question? What is the one question that will give you everything you want?
I don't think there is any such question which I know of.
He's pulling a redeem.
Because right now, questioning, what is it good for? Exploring, questioning, being curious, it's good, but if it doesn't end, you just
Yes,
you have only
yes.
questioning and that's it. And in the questioning, you do not gain anything, only more questioning. In the being of here,
I don't think so. I think by questioning one gains, or at least can gain, a lot. All science is questioning. And by questioning, they have not understood everything, but they have understood a lot, or at least some.
and
So
in this understanding, do you see that the world, the way it is now, did this understanding made the world to be the best place to live for all the beings, or this understanding lacks consciousness for this world to be better? And I'm talking not about the discovery in understanding bullshit in this world. You can understand whatever you want. I don't give a fuck what people try to understand. I am here to show that there is understanding in consciousness in this moment where all the questioning can be left aside. If you want to understand things, it's okay, but that does not change the world just by answering this question. What does have an effect? Understanding there is consciousness beyond the
I
questioning.
don't agree that this will not change the world.
Mhm.
When by asking your questions to yourself, you get rid of several delusions.
Yes, you can, but you
Yeah.
still are deluded
And-
to keep asking more and more and more.
Yes. So it's a
So you
question.
still are deluded.
Pardon?
You are still deluded to keep asking more. Why
No,
can't you
no,
stop
no, no,
and
no.
just
Eh,
do
eh,
not ask anything in this
Generally,
moment?
people who are deluded, they don't ask questions.
Oh, they do.
Like-
Of course they
Who's
do.
to say that though?
Are you not deluded to say that people are not asking questions who are deluded?
I am deluded, you are deluded, everybody is deluded to different degrees and in different respects.
Yeah.
You may be deluded in one respect, another person may be deluded in another respect.
And what does it gain you to be deluded in your perspective?
I'm not, as I said in the beginning, I'm not trying to get anything or achieve anything or even achieve Satori or Nirvana or enlightenment. I'm not after any of those things.
So why are you exploring? Or why are you
I'm
questioning?
exploring that what is reality and what is not reality, to differentiate between reality and illusion.
So why is it interesting for you?
Why not?
Why too? Many people are not finding that interesting.
Yes, many people are not interested in it because they don't understand the importance of these
So
questions.
why is it so important?
Pardon?
Why is it so important?
I think it's very important because then you become saner, at least spiritually more sane and less dogmatic, less closed-minded. And then you can see that it's not only one's own beliefs, there is more than that.
And when you're left at this place, that's all that you think. The most important thing is to be left at the place that you see there is more than that. And that's it.
I didn't get you. Could you say it again?
So you see, you say that it's very important because then you can be
But at least
this
it
type
is
of
very
experience.
important to me.
Mhm.
And I think a person who will be aware of these things, to him it will be important.
Mhm. And if it's so important to you, what is the most important thing that you want to get out of this?
I said that I don't want to get out of it anything.
So why is it so
Like-
important then? If you don't want to get anything, why is it so important to you to ask
There
these kind of
is
questions?
a spirit of inquiry.
Mhm.
And spirit of inquiry is not only in material things, this is also in spiritual things. When that spirit of inquiry is not there, then it becomes like a religion or a dogma or a faith or a belief. Then understanding is closed. When a person stops inquiring.
Could it be that when a person starts inquiring, he creates a dogma and a belief, a spiritual
No.
identity that this kind of path will put me somewhere?
When a person is inquiring, he inquires his own beliefs first of all. If a person is really honest with himself, the most important thing for him to inquire his own beliefs. Because he does not want to delude himself. Anybody can make delusions and be very content with it and claim happiness and this and that. That's how all these religions are going on. That I think is the way of closed-minded and deluded people.
So in this moment, do you feel yourself very open-minded and
No.
This is
Why do you ask
this
what I
is
feel
a simple
myself?
question. This is a question that anybody
And,
would
and,
ask.
and what do you feel? What do you think? Are you open-minded? What do you feel at this moment? Very open-minded or closed-minded?
This moment, I don't feel myself to be in any way.
Pardon?
This moment, I don't feel myself to be in any way. I don't have any particular feeling that I care myself. Am I like this or that?
Yes.
Like, I feel in
About
true
this
honesty.
also, I
Yeah.
was not feeling myself to be honest or dishonest.
Mhm.
Also,
Mhm. So in this moment, in my true experience, I feel like nothing. So I am asking.
you were feeling because you were feeling anger just about 15, 20 minutes ago.
Oh,
When you said, I don't give a fuck about this and this and this, I could see the anger.
There
on
was
your
no
face.
anger.
Yeah.
There was an experience of expression, of a strong expression.
Okay.
Absolutely
So-
no
so-
anger.
so
I don't know what kind of experience are you talking about, because anger is your projection on my experience. My
No.
experience was absolutely
These
nothing
are
happened.
just the words going on like this. Any third person who is not, who doesn't know that you are the guru here, and when he sees your face, and he would certainly perceive that there is anger there.
Because they're deluded. They do not see that there is no anger in this.
That you are claiming. You are claiming.
So can you prove? Can you prove that there was anger?
So leave that. This was not my actually intention of going into it. I was only honestly questioning certain things. I was not even disagreeing.
I didn't say that you disagree.
Yeah. So I was, and I am questioning things. Like I don't accept something just because people are agreeing with it or they claim it and they seem to be very happy or peaceful. Like you said, you don't give a fuck about it. I also don't give a fuck about happiness and peace. I
Good.
don't care how smiling the face is and how happy he is. I don't care about that.
Very good.
Yeah. And by saying that I don't give a fuck about it, that doesn't give you any marks.
No, I don't try to
It
earn
doesn't
any
make you-
marks.
it doesn't make you higher than others.
I don't try to become any higher than
Okay.
others. Why would they have any interest to become higher than others?
I don't know. How do I know that? That you should know.
Well, exactly.
Like
So
this is not a question you should ask me. You should ask yourself.
well, you just projected the idea that as if
I can say the same thing that you are projecting the idea. Just because you are sitting in that chair and this is your place, it doesn't mean you know the truth and other people don't know. It doesn't mean
I never
that.
said that they do. Did
Yeah.
I claim that I know the truth when I sat here?
Okay. So anyway, I didn't want to go into that. Honestly, believe me, I was not going against anybody, not against you. I was questioning. These questions are important to me. So I was questioning this. And I don't accept just because somebody is saying with authority, it is like this. I don't accept that. I don't give a fuck about that, as you said.
That's how I feel that everybody should be, nobody should accept anything the way you are, because if you accept whatever people say, do not try to actually deny it first.
Pardon?
If you just accept whatever people say without trying to experiment and confirm that this is so,
yes,
you don't gain anything.
Yes, yes.
So it's a good.
In this I agree with you. Yes.
And I didn't say that you did not agree with me. The way I express myself, you perceived anger. In my perception of the experience, there was just clarity of perhaps exaggerated expression to make a statement in a stronger way. No anger experience was there. When you said anger, to me, I feel like laughing because I don't know what you are trying to relate to.
Okay, you don't have to prove to me or anybody. Maybe you have to prove to them that you are not angry, but that I'm not. I don't go into that. So that was not my point.
Well, of course, it's not. But I'm just saying that this kind of experiences that if you see that apparently I appear to you as angry, that's fine, because that does not make my experience to be so.
Okay, yeah, but I can't take your word for it.
Of course, I don't ask you.
Yes. So
I don't ask you to accept me.
So that word, I mean, let us drop the thing. That's not, because that is not my interest also. What do I care? The questions which I care about, on those questions I was passionate, and I am passionate, and I will remain passionate.
So you're more passionate on the questions than the answers?
No, question is there to get the answer.
So which,
or trying to get the answer at least.
So which one is more passionate? Are you more passionate to have a question or the answer?
Yeah, I don't see the sense in that. Like answer, question is always with the intention of having answer, or at least trying to have an answer.
So in this moment, do you choose to have a question or an answer? If you're offered, do you want to question for 5 or more years, or do you want an answer to
I
to
will
live
go
with
on
5 years?
questioning till my last breath.
Oh, okay, no problem.
And a person who stops questioning, I think there is spiritually something very, very wrong with that person.
So that's your thought. You said, I think this is something
Yes.
very, very wrong.
Yes,
So that's
yes,
your thought, right?
Yeah, by I think, I mean that it seems to me that this is how it seems to me.
So that's a thought.
Yeah, but
Is that the
whatever you say is your thought.
It seems to be.
Yeah. So same like they said. Like you are not having like a position that you can that what you think is not thought, what anybody else thinks is a thought. Right?
I didn't say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so if you say that it seems to be that if somebody stops questioning, it's very, very wrong.
Yes.
That,
I do think
that's your personal thought. It means nothing, absolutely nothing in the actual life. It's only a personal thought.
And this what you are saying, this is also your personal thought.
Well, you could say so, yeah.
No, and the same, I can say that you can say so.
Yes.
Yeah. How can you say anything which is not your own thought? You cannot speak from my mind or her mind or anybody else's
Well,
mind.
that depends. My experience is different.
But
I can have an experience of speaking to somebody else's mind and not to confirm to you, because there's no way to confirm. I can only speak from my experience. I can perceive thoughts of other beings and speak it out before they do. Sometimes I don't do it intentionally.
Okay, I won't go into that because that's doesn't matter.
Yeah, of course it doesn't matter. This doesn't add anything.
Yes. So I'm just saying that when I say something, you say that it is your thought, and what you are speaking, that's not your thought. That is.
I didn't say that it's not a thought. It can be a thought. Everything that I can say
Yes.
may be perceived as a thought.
Not perceived. Everything what you are saying is your thought. I'm not talking about perceived. Don't confuse the issue.
Oh, I'm not really confusing anything,
So,
unless you're getting confused.
When you say that what I am saying is just my thought, same applies to you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
So now, which thought will be more important than another? Does the thought that if I stop questioning, is something is really, really wrong, is it more important than having no thought about that?
Can you repeat this thing?
Is the thought that if you stop questioning, something seems to be very, very wrong in this kind of choice? If this is better than having no thought?
There is no human being alive or has ever lived which had no thought.
True.
So as long as you are living, you will have thoughts.
Well, in this moment, I'm not thinking. In this moment, I'm not thinking.
You are not thinking.
Yes.
But you are speaking without thinking.
Yes.
That is it.
It's too much to handle for your thoughts?
No, why do you put me down? It's so much for me to...
No, I'm asking, isn't it too much to take that I can speak without the thoughts? Isn't it a possibility?
If you can speak without thought, you are speaking in English, now try to speak in Hindi. Because for you, mind is not required, thought is not required.
Well, then I would need to require the mind to say how to speak in Hindi. I don't need to require my mind to speak in English. It happens. I listen to what is being spoken. I don't think what to say.
I can attest to that.
Pardon?
Sometimes when I speak, I don't always know what I'm saying. Actually, it's a lot easier to not think and just speak.
Yeah. There may not be conscious thought, but subconsciously mind is working, so it is the output of the mind. All what you do or all what I do does not have to be conscious. Many things I do, like for instance now I was doing like this, I did not think that I should do like this. You know, when I am moving my hand now, I did not think. This subconsciously happens. But it doesn't mean that it's not coming from my mind.
But if there's forethought, an awareness of thought happening before you actually speak or move. There's forethought, there's awareness in thought that you know that there's thinking before you actually speak or act, though.
I didn't get you.
If I thought, are you aware of yourself thinking before you speak or act?
Not necessarily. Sometimes maybe I may be aware, sometimes not.
Okay, and so you're saying that he's not...
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about general. I'm saying that everything, every action you make or everything you say, it does not necessarily mean that it's coming from the conscious mind. Subconsciously, but that still is mind.
But subconsciously, it
Yes.
is in your mind.
Yes.
Maybe, probably.
But that does not necessarily mean also that it comes from the mind.
Pardon?
It doesn't mean that it comes from consciousness. It doesn't mean that it comes from the mind. It doesn't mean anything actually.
They have the same problem comes. Maybe what you mean by mind is different from what generally is the accepted meaning of mind, or what the professional psychologists think is mind. So the same word can have different meanings for different people. So that becomes a problem. If you make it more clear that by mind I said I mean this, when I say reality I mean this and not this. So if that becomes more clear, that helps. It doesn't completely remove the problems, but it helps in understanding.
So, in that sense, what is mind to you? How do you perceive the mind?
I see it like this, that all the actions which I do, all the dreams which I dream when I am sleeping, and now what I am doing, that is part of, that's coming from different parts of mind. That is how it seems to me. And I may be wrong. I'm not claiming like a dogmatically in anything. I'm inquiring into this and trying to communicate honestly. And but I won't stand anybody, whether it's Jesus Christ or Buddha, who comes and tells me I believe it because I say so. I'm the great guru. I won't believe that.
But they say so.
What?
But they say so. They have a cross. They have a cross. They have everything. So
They what?
They say to believe. Many people believe, right? So they have a cross. They have some bells. They have some just everything for you to believe in it. Why not? Why not to believe in them?
I think a person who is honest with himself will not believe in that, because he will question all that.
Hmm. So if you like to question and inquire, have you had a question for yourself? Who am I?
Okay, that seems to be a very interesting basic question, and about that perhaps it would be interesting to say. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, it's not me. I'm asking you. Have you ever tried to inquire in yourself?
I'm not even clear about what this question means actually.
So does that mean that you didn't inquire because you're not clear what this question means?
No.
Or did you inquire?
No, it doesn't mean that. It means that I do not even understand what thought that I mean, I don't understand that how is one supposed to make a sense of this question. When you ask me this question, I cannot make sense of it.
Well, why to try? Okay, let's say to make sense of the question.
Yeah.
Why the questions that you inquire to are making sense and this doesn't? Why all the other questions make sense and
not
this
all the
doesn't?
others, but the question which I raised, they make sense to me.
And this doesn't?
I'm not clear about it.
Because you said this is very basic, but you say it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's how it appears to me. And I'm not obstinate about it. If you can show me that, like in what sense this question has to be taken, I'm open to that.
I would say in the experiential sense, just to experience, what does that question allow to appear in your being?
Okay.
You don't have to find an answer, just to let the question be and see what kind of experience does that bring.
Actually, if I ask myself, who am I, then several other questions come.
Mm-hmm. But those can be left aside. You only ask who am I. You don't have to honor other questions. The only question that you honor now is this.
But in this question presupposes certain things.
Mm-hmm. But that doesn't matter. We just focus on this question alone. We don't go on presuppose things. We don't go on whatever other questions
like
that comes up.
It's like this, that there is certain presupposition in this, that this question supposes that I exist. That it already supposes that I exist, that there is something called I, which I'm not sure about.
So can you prove me that the one that is not sure about it doesn't exist?
No, if I could prove about it, then I would be sure that it doesn't exist. And I said, if you listen, I said that I am not sure about it. And then you ask me, can I prove to you? Just think for a minute. If I could prove to you that I do not exist, then I would be sure of it.
Yes.
So I already said to you that I'm not sure of it. So why did you ask this question?
I asked this question exactly the same reason the way you answer me, because you say I am not sure of it. The one that says I am not sure of it itself
this
is
is just
already
a
an
way of
existent
how
entity.
the language is made. It doesn't mean that there is necessarily there is an I or not I. This is just how the English language is made.
You're speaking, so I would feel that there is an I which speaks with that sense of an I.
This is the point I was saying to you before, that because I see or because I speak, I use these words. It doesn't mean that there is a unified consciousness of I.
Not unified, but there is an experience of I. This doesn't have to be unified. There's just an experience of I. There is, because I is speaking, I is sitting. There isn't?
No, it doesn't make sense to me.
To who is this me? To who it doesn't make sense. Can you identify the me?
I do not know, but
who doesn't know? No, don't go away. Who doesn't know? Who doesn't know?
Well, if you like me to say like this, my mind doesn't know.
So something knows that mind doesn't know. There's some consciousness
My
knows
mind
that
knows
mind
that
doesn't
it doesn't know.
If you want to believe that, we can say that also, yes.
I don't want to believe. This is the first thing I said to you. I'm not a man who believes or disbelieves. I don't go that way. I'm an inquirer. I don't believe in it.
I who is an inquirer, who is this I?
As I said, to the best of my, what I can say now, it is my mind.
So that's fine. The mind wants to inquire, and you see that energy of inquiring energy in the mind, right? There's an observed energy that mind wants to inquire, mind wants to know, mind is very curious. That is seen.
Yes.
In that seeing, you are not the mind. You're only seeing. In the seeing of that inquiry, of that curiosity, you're not the mind. You're seeing. There's some slight distance there. I'm not saying believe in me now. I'm just saying, in my experience, in the seeing that there is a mind which wants to inquire, which wants to ask questions, is a separate entity as an I appears when I ask I. You say, this is I, my mind.
Maybe.
To my seeing, yes, this is true. The I which wants to inquire is the mind which appears to be I. But I don't feel to be that I. I feel more, in my experience, the seeing of that inquiring energy, which I lost because I'm much happier just to be seeing all that there is.
Maybe. But I do not, you said in your experience it's like that. I cannot deny that. And maybe it is, but I don't know.
I'm not saying you have to agree with it. I just say my experience is such. It seems that some people who come here can resonate that this kind of distance can be felt between the mind and the observer point of view.
Okay, so for that I would say that...
John, can I interrupt if you don't mind?
Yes.
Do you think it would be okay if we started with this?
Yeah, I think we're going to be finished within a few minutes.
Sorry.
Of course not.
Oh, no, this is just personal thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So honestly, like I don't like to pretend. Honestly, I don't see that. But it may be true what you are saying, or may not be. I don't know.
And that's okay. I'm not saying that this kind of seeing has to be your seeing. It may become your experience. Who knows? You don't know. I don't know.
And actually, I don't. I'm very doubtful about this experience thing also. One can have experiences which are illusions coming out of several reasons. So when a person says that I was meditating and I saw Buddha sitting in front of me, and actually I saw him, I could touch him, and he talked to me. So this is his experience. It doesn't mean necessarily that Buddha did come there.
The part that's aware of that experience.
Pardon?
What about the part that is aware of that experience? I'm not saying Buddha existed, but something was aware of that experience.
Like, one can have so many deluded.
But whatever the experience,
Yeah.
what is the part that's aware of that?
Aware of what?
The experience. The person saw the Buddha, whether he was there or not, but he was aware that that happened.
Yeah, that is his mind. That was his mind.
I projected that. So it's a mind that's aware of everything? Is everything?
No, I don't say that. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
There can be 100 different things which no human being has ever been aware of. But it may be actually true. It doesn't mean that if somebody has a spiritual experiences, so he knows everything. It doesn't mean that. So to recognize that human beings do have delusions, they have these deluded hallucinations or in meditation and coming out of faith and belief. This happens. This is a part of how the human mind works. And to be, see, like if you talk to a believing religious person, whether he's Hindu or Christian or whatever, he has experiences like who has gone deep into it. And that's not necessarily true. So what I said about this, because if somebody had some experience and he really firmly believes it and he's ready to put all his life on that I will not accept as a proof that it really was true.
I wouldn't trust that also. Especially if he wants to put his life for it, I wouldn't trust that. Like anybody who has an experience and would be willing to put his life for that experience, no. How can you trust someone like that? He's identified with the experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's at least something we can agree.
To my seeing, there was no disagreement. There was nothing to disagree the whole time.
No, I found so many things to disagree with.
Oh,
yeah. I'm not a believing devotee or anything.
Oh, good.
I have no respect for any guru in the whole world. Yeah. And if you can say, I fuck all that, I also fuck all that. Yeah.
Very good.
I'm a very independent sort of person.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's enough independent consciousness to not accept anything.
Pardon?
There's enough independent consciousness to not accept anything just easily like that.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I'm saying there's enough independent consciousness in your experience to not accept anything just because they say so.
Yeah.
So it's good like that.
Huh?
It's good like that.
Yeah. That is any person who is honest with himself will be like this. He cannot accept just because somebody else is saying.
It's good. It's good like that, and it should be like that. Nobody should accept anything before they have their own experience that they can confirm. Otherwise.
No, even if I had that experience or whatever experience, I will not accept that. Experience can be experience is no guarantee of truth.
Of course not.
Yeah. So experience does not convince me.
Yeah, but truth is not an experience. Truth is what is. And truth is only being recognized. And the experience of recognition may be happy, euphoric, blissful, peaceful, but truth is not an experience. It's just what
Yes,
is.
yes, that's right. Truth is not an experience. I found another thing I can agree with. Yeah.
Very
Truth
good.
is not an experience. Truth is, that's why in the beginning I said, let us make this clear. What do you mean by truth? By truth I mean that
This sounds like it's starting at the beginning. It sounds like it's starting at the beginning of the evening.
okay.
Either way, it's fun. We had fun. We can continue having fun if this happens again next time. But
So many people cannot, especially in spiritual teachers or something like that, who cannot stand an independent person.
of course not. They want the believer.
They want devotees.
Yes.
And I'm not a devotee of any.
Very good. I don't like them also.
I don't follow anybody, and I'm not I have no religion, I have no ideology, and I have no guru, nothing like that.
Good like that.
And a person who can accept independence in another person, I think that person is a good person.
Very good. Yeah, fun night. So I guess we can wrap up the night and.